Testing one, two, three, testing one, two, three. That sounds like it's good. Testing audio again, one more time. One, two, three. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the .NET Lunch Stream. My name is Aaron. I'm hanging out, and we're gonna do some .NET coding. I've got a new stream set up today. I'm pretty excited about. You see, I'm in a different part of the window here. I've got a different camera set up because I've got a different studio set up. I've got my new. Well, I've had a monitor for quite a while, but I just had it set up in a placement that I like for doing streaming, and so because of that, it got really kind of tricky. And I'm getting old. I can't see as well as I used to. I'm fully aware admit to that's part of the problems here. So because of that, I've switched over to like I'll have to post a picture on Twitter. Obviously, I can't really easily show you guys it right now, but basically, there's a 49-inch monitor up here that you're kind of you can't see that a bunch of stuff's open on. And then below that is a 27-inch Apple Studio display, and that's what I code off of. That's also what I stream the screen of, and that's what you're currently seeing right now on the stream. Right, is that particular monitor then? But it's angled. It's angled kind of like this, and it's flat, so it's angled. Ooh, let's see. Oh, camera's here. So it's angled kind of like this, and it's angled like kind of like this, so it's flat on the desk at an angle. So it's going to angle back, but it's laying on the desk. So it's kind of a unique setup. But with the angled stuff, it makes it so it fits underneath my 49-inch, and I absolutely freaking love this setup. This is the cat's meow. I think this is going to make me a lot more productive as a coder. Ergonomics wise, I mean, is this the most ergonomic way of doing things? I'm not a medical professional, so don't trust me on that, but it feels great. I feel like I can see it better. So I mean, that's that. I don't say there's something to be said about that, right? I mean, I guess maybe I'd have to ask somebody. I used to work at a place that did where they would have people that just did nothing but ergonomic studies and stuff, which is really kind of interesting. But yeah, I think for me in my old age and stuff, this has given me the ability to see stuff that in a way that I don't have to squint so much anymore. So I love it. So let's see here. Yesterday we had some pretty great success. Let me open the Docker. And get Docker open. We'll take a look at that because I was able to get all the profiles loaded in. So let's just bring that down here, take a look at it. We'll get that started. So we're going to start our all of our machines here. This will get both our machines, and then I go to all port. Oop, that's sync gateway. Go to all ports here. Open this up, and let's get a. Boy, that's bright. Couchbase server needs a dark mode. Administrator. I don't freaking remember the password to save my life on this one. So this is we're gonna cheat. Go into the console log, and it should tell me what the password is up here. Again, folks, this is just a demo app, so I am not worried about passwords showing up in Docker and stuff. If this was real production stuff, you'd do all kinds of other crazy things. This is more of demo than anything else. So if we look here, we've got a bucket called demo ERP inventory, and if we were to go in here, we could see that we can go to our scopes and collections, and then under personnel, which was what I was working on yesterday, we can see we have 17 user profiles loaded in. We know that there's a bug here where it basically does not hit the proper key space, which is kind of silly, and you have to kind of load it and reload it. I need to put a defect in to the dev team on that because that's obviously a bruise, to say the least. But I can see documents here, and we have been logging. I don't remember who is the main boss of these people. There's actually a boss of these people in the data. I think it's this person right here. Director, yeah, she's the director of the accounting team that's doing all these audits in this app. And so she's actually, her primary office is in Santa Clara, which is in California. But she's also technically speaking, a remote worker. She can go work in Atlanta or in New York City. So we need to get those offices loaded, though. We need to take a look at that because that's where you should be able to change your office if you want to, right? Maybe move to a different office, and we also may want to track like what office you're currently working out of. So if somebody's wondering, like, hey, you travel a lot. Are you in the Atlanta office? What office are you in? Maybe the mobile app will show you that. So those seems like fun things to do. So let's see here. Actually, I shouldn't lose that. I should just bury it. Let's go back to our code and check out a couple of things. So I've got VS Code and Rider both open. I've had nothing but bad times with Rider when it comes to mobile development, but for doing the .NET stuff, I do like its syntax suggestions better than the experience here. Here's our code that we have for our data loader. So I'm opening that up in VS Code here. But what I want to take a look at is actually in our automation folder. Let's look at our data gen. And one thing I'm concerned about is offices. Let's take a look at the offices. That's what we want to load next. Yeah. So we probably need to give this more than just a name and a, well, geez, Mr. Copilot, you were very aggressive, but that was very nice of you to do that. There's no comma there. Let's see here. So we would normally have something like this. Make that optional. Let's see here. So technically speaking, suite, this would be in the second line, right? Ooh. Control Z to undo. The suite would technically speaking be in the, this would be address 2. This would be the suite part. Oh, this would be, city, right? Let's get the rest of this out of there. And then we'll grab Santa Clara, move that to city. We have a state. CA. Zip. And then we probably have something like a long and latitude. I would probably do it like this. And then probably have it like this. Sure, I have no idea where that actually goes, but that's probably more like what the data should look like. So, oh, by the way, welcome everybody that, if you're watching video on demand on YouTube, I know a lot of you do that. Really, a lot of you do that. Thanks. If you have questions, ping me out in Discord, or, over Twitter, one of those two places. Links are down here, or obviously you can even ping in the repo if you want, if you're having questions. But this probably seems more likely a real office, right? Now, I have no way understanding of what that address is. Great American Parkway. I don't even know if that's real. Let's cheat. We'll just go to Couchbase's website and steal wherever our addresses are. Let's see here, company, and our address maybe isn't about us. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Santa Clara. That looks like it's an image. Not gonna let me cut and paste. Oh, here we go. Sweet. I'm gonna make it so that I can easier switch between programs. I'm gonna have to do something for this. I don't have my Streamlabs hooked up right now because I just reset up all the screens and stuff. So I do need to get that hooked up, and that will help greatly with that workflow. Because otherwise I have to go to the 39-inch or the 49-inch monitor to switch between programs, and that's just not fun. No, wait. Oh, it's auto switching between the offices. That's annoying. Locations. Well, that doesn't do anything like this. Oh, you have to swipe? I don't know if anybody thought that out very well. Um, that seems right. Okay, that looks good. So now we can do that in our, make sure our code's there. We'll give this Sweden for the hell of it. Oh, we should get the latitude and longitude for that. Because that way we can do a map in the mobile app. Maps.google.com. All right, let's go here. And there's our latitude and longitude right here. Most people don't know that, but it's right in the URL. If you've used this enough, you'll get used to finding it and stuff. So that seems about right. So let's go back into our code and we'll use that to steal the latitude and longitude. So we'll just paste this in and then we'll obviously grab this one here. The actual recommendation wasn't that far off, really, that Copilot gave us. All right, we've got one done. Now for a second. All right, let's see here. Let's grab all this stuff. We need to come up with a fake address in Atlanta, or a real address, really doesn't matter. Just somewhere we can route somebody to in Atlanta. Let's pick the Coke Museum, maybe. Yeah. We'll do that. I used to live in Atlanta for several years, and I loved it. That's where I met my wife. And I'm here to tell you that it's a pretty cool place, and I want the address. Yeah, Worldwide of Coke, but it doesn't give you, like, where the hell's the address? Oh, here it is. Never mind. We'll copy that, bring that in, and then we'll steal the latitude longitude. So let's just put that here. Then we tear apart this. So that's in Atlanta. There will be no address 2 in here. In fact, it's a document database. We don't even need it now. Nope. Cut Atlanta out. We'll put it here. That's GA. I can just type that in. Zip code here's pretty easy. Clean this up. Bang, bang there. All right, let's see here. Geolocation. Let's go get that from here. We're at a much different geolocation. And that seems good. All right. Ah, that did not work the way I wanted it to do. Just want that. Paste it over here. There we go. That seems good. Now we got the Atlanta office taken care of. We just need to get the New York City office taken care of. So we want that definitely be somewhere in Manhattan, right? All right. What's that? Empire State Building. Perfect. Our office is in the Empire State Building. It's just sample data, folks. You tend to stop caring when you sample data. You just want to make sure it's something that is kind of relevant. And because I want to do some GPS stuff with this and show some mapping off. BWAX. Cut. Don't cut the whole line. I have this text selected. Man, don't be a jerk. Cut just that part. Paste it. Thank you. This is my problem I have with VS Code. Sometimes the text editor built into it is not my favorite. It just seems like I hate keyboard shortcuts. I'm a big keyboard shortcut fan, and they don't do what I want it to do. And that's why I'd like to go into Writer, because I have far less keyboard snaffles happening over there. You know, a lot less keyboard drama in the in there. The problem is the writer is just completely garbage when it comes to doing mobile stuff with Maui. It's just not anything that's great right now. And I usually don't like to talk smack, but it's been really tough using Rider the last couple weeks here. So let's make sure we have no extra commas in here. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's right. Okay. We got our 3 offices. This should be pretty basic. Santa Clara. We could have more offices later. We just want to get this ball rolling. So let's see here. Offices go where? That's a good question, Aaron. Kill that now. I don't need that open either. Let's go look at our buckets and let's go to collections and then see here. So we have personnel, and I think offices are in offices under personnel. Okay. 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 Cool beans. We need a new task to load offices. Async task load offices. And we'll take in a I cluster in a I bucket of a bucket. And then we need some stuff like this. Copy, paste. And this is JSON file. And you get really cheap. I'm just gonna call it JSON file because I can paste more than it's called offices, right? What's that called? Offices.json. All right. And honestly, this is really cookie. I just said the thing out loud. It's really cookie cutter. Shit. We should refactor this. This is cookie cutter, folks. We don't like cookie cutter code. We should use generics to do this the proper way. All right, let's save this out. Let's go over to Rider because that's going to give me a better text editor experience. Let me get this shell closed out. Don't care about this shell. Let me get into the data loader. And I don't know what to tell you. I just like the layout of Rider better from that standpoint. So let's see here. Does it got my load offices? Yep. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a new async task load data. We're taking a cluster of an I cluster. We're going to take in a bucket of type bucket. We're going to take a file string of a file path. We're going to take in a type T. I'm going to call T data type. I think I have to do this to tell it that T is a generic. So we have a method that we really just don't give a crap about what you want. We'll just get it for you, right? So let's take a look at this code and see if we can't do that. So first, we know that we will have unique code for each one of these that gets the path, right? So that's kind of unique. And then we'll start with the code down here. Generic size this all out. And we're going to load this up into here. Let's see what we need to do to fix this. And then I could already see that we're missing here and then here. So we'll go through and start cleaning this up in a second. Let's just talk about this for a second. Where's our big, all right. So here's our generic data loader. All right, so first of all, this is going to be called a file path. And we're going to say file path does not exist. And then we're going to say here, we're going to say again, we just don't care. We're going to look at a file path. And for this, we deserialize of type T. We just don't care. And then we'll say data. Now we have to say here if data, we'll typecast it. Our data. We need to do is we need to check whether or not it is an interface. If is I enumerable of type this I enumerable var I don't want it as a type T. So pissed about that. What do we get? We'll bring the type in and we'll do it as a list of type. Because then we know that it's if we do it as a list type, then we get we don't have to worry about the enumeration, and this should be. And so when we take the type in, we'll know that the data type is like user profile, whatever, and then we'll make sure we enumerate it back as a collection. And so let's see here, if that's here, so then we're going to go through. Oh, we need to know the name of the scope and collection to put it into. So we'll need, let's make these, we're going to have to make this. We have a lot of properties going to come in. So we'd have to know the data type, then we'd have to know the string scope, and then string collection. And then let's see here. This would definitely be scope. This would be collection. Oh shit, these are already named that scope name. I'll fix that. Okay, we got generic code here now, and now we can just say var for each item and data. This is where it's going to get tricky. We can still do it. All right. We have to, in our models, we're going to say that we're going to require the models to inherit from change all my data then. I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna refactor this. And we're gonna say that this document ID. It's probably pissed now because I put it in the wrong spot. Let's see what's going on here. I think I can solve that by saying it's a private set. But he just sent me a message. I think that'll be fine there. What's going on here? Somebody sent me a message. What's going on? Okay, that's no big deal. Better check the Discord. Somebody sent me a message there. I get a message in my alert in my headphones when I get a message. Check my iPad also, make sure it's not somebody from work talking to me on Slack. It is. That's exactly where it's from. Let's see here. 1 second. I'm now just making sure. I think this is gonna fix it though. This will make it so that I think that's gonna work. So this I think will solve the problem. That will get us the ability to do this because then all we have to do is say if it is of type I document, then we're good to go. So in here we can just now say var document ID is equal to item as I document ID. If document ID is null, then we can insert in, and we all have to say is that this is document ID, and then this is data. Now we've taken some. Why is it mad? Oh, what's it saying here? There we go. Well, do this so we know what data we're talking about loading, right? Okay. Now we got some super generic code that's going to allow us, let's clean up this a little bit. So let's go to code and reformat code. I'll get that cleaned up. Now we got the super generic method that's just going to use generics to pull in any data we want as long as it inherits from a document. One of these interfaces that says iDocument ID. So now we can just go into Office and do the same thing here. We're going to say that on Office ID, iDocument ID, and we're going to say this is Office ID, document ID. And now we're meeting the requirements of that. We can say that that's document ID, that's the name. We have a primary and secondary. We have other things in Offices, though, that we're going to have an issue here with, right? Because it's we have an Office assignment. This is the type of Office. Office has got a name, a string, but it has more than that, right? Because if we look, we just did that in VS Code. So we can see what else we got. I forgot what we did already here. So it's we'll open it from here, I guess, and fix it here. Pop this over so it's half. Make this small so we can see better. Let's take a look here what we got going on here. So oh, because this is an office of a type of person's office, not a full office, right? Because this is more used on the user object. So we don't have, so we got an issue here where this is really, this is a, when we look at a user, this is a user office. It's a user assignment to an office, right? So office assignment, offices. And then if we go look at that currently in an office, we have a office assignment, which gives you an office and then that, but that's really a user office, right? Because the user office is a smaller version of that document. And we don't have the structure of having a primary and secondary in a regular office like we do a user office. So we can refactor this to user office. And now it tells us that that's the user office, and then we can just make another one of these, just call it an office. And this is just going to be a regular office. I need to make that capitalized, right? And let's see here. We don't have these here, so we don't need those per se. We're just going to have properties from inside here. So we're going to have a document ID. We're going to have a name. Yeah, see, VS Code really hard to... And I mean, I guess I could try to make this bigger so that it's word wrapping better, but so we need here, we need an address 1. We need an address 2, right? Let's do an address 2. I hope you're all doing well on your Thursday. It's almost the weekend, so everybody's waiting for the weekend. I think that's a Loverboy song. I am looking forward to mine. Got to finish some flooring I'm doing in my bedroom. And probably going to try to stay warm because it's supposed to be extremely cold this weekend. Still, it's been cold here. So if you're in the U.S., man, in the part of the U.S. that's been getting blasted by cold, man, stay warm. My office, I have the thermometer set at 75 degrees, yet my heat is only 71, and that's because it's ridiculous cold outside. In my little space heater I have, well, it's not space heater, but it's a mini split, but it's enough in the summer to cool my my shop, my home office I have out here in the studio, but it's not. It feels like it's not good enough to keep up with the heat. It's always about 5 to 6 degrees. When it gets really cold at night, it's off by about 10 degrees. It barely can keep up with keeping this warm. Let's see here. So then we need another thing though. Here we're gonna need a geo, right? We need a type of thing called geo, and we'll have to. Let's see here because it's lowercase. Yeah, we'll just call it public read-only struct or record struct. We'll call this geo. It's going to take in two things. Yep. That. Okay, that was kind of cool. I do like the AI when it's writing, saving me lines of code to write. Let's see here. Make sure there's only one line space there. And then that will do it. And then what we're going to say here is that we have a adjacent property of a type geo. Geo, but that's going to be really a geo location. And that should get out. See, that's the thing I don't like is like the type here. It doesn't have a different color. I mean, obviously it's telling me that, but it's white. And I kind of like a better, and I probably should just try to find a better theme. I think part of this is just the C# stuff that's in it. I don't think that with the combination of themes are the best. Where if I go read this in Rider, let me set this out and go back to Riderland. Maybe I'm just used to how Rider looks. You know, I just know here's geo. Oh, Rider's actually complaining about something here. Oh, I've got a comma. See, I didn't see that in VS Code. What's Rider also complaining about here? Oh, I don't care if they're not access or not. I guess it's white here too. Yeah. Should be a different color, but all right. I can complain all I want. It's not going to do any good. And if I really cared, I would probably just make a theme or go get a different theme. All right, I think this is good enough. Let's go back to our program then, now that we have this new knowledge here, and start fixing it because it's pretty broken right now. So if we look here, we're loading user profiles. That's fine. If we go to this now, we want to basically run. We need a couple things. Const string. Do we need to make that const? We're only using it in here. Var. Let's just do string. And then we need the scope name. We need a collection name. And we should be able to get those from... I deleted all those, didn't I? Okay, bucket names here, but the scope and collection names I completely deleted. So they're only really used with the data loader. So let's go to the data loader here. Go down here. I think we can minimize this now. We don't need to see this code anymore. So let's just do that. And then if we knew this, we should be able to say await load data of type user profile. And we want to send in cluster bucket JSON file path. And we want to send in the type, which is user profile. We don't even need that. What am I doing here? Why do I have to do the type here? Because we're going to do T here. We know that from here. Where's the JSON file location? We need scope name. We need collection name. That's it. And that will load in, and then this won't work because we don't know what the hell the scope and collection name is because I forgot it already. Let's see here. I need to get to my browser. We'll look at what that is. So personnel, and then user profiles is personnel, and then user profiles. Let's go back to writer. So the scope, user profiles. Oop, that's offices though. Where the hell is? Oh. And we just say here. Boom, 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 boom. Oop. I better look at what I'm doing here. I'm screwing this all up. It should be like this. Oh shit. Wait, what was I doing before? Let's unfix this. So where's, oh, JSON file location is a different name of something up here. It is, okay, shit. All right, well, I did that wrong. Pardon my French. Wait, so let me fix load office. So this should be office file location. Okay. So we're gonna say user profile file location. All right. We then need to make it into a JSON path. So we're gonna just call this JSON file path. And this is gonna load in a user profile. Honestly, what am I thinking here? Once again, in the art of ninja-ing this is a piece of code that we could literally have in our main method up here, and then we don't have to use it again. What we can do is we can say we're taking in the file path, and we say here with file path. And then make sure that shoot. The only place the JSON file path is used. The risk of regression just went up quite a bit. Now we can just say file location instead. Make this nice and easy on ourselves. And then we would just say here, this is file location, scope buckets. And this is a user profile. This would be an office though. And this would be file location. We don't even make this a constant. Make this 3. And then it's the same thing. This turns this into like really easy code now, right? And this would be a user profile. And this is file location, scope, and collection. Oh, look at that. Look at that, man. If that's what we get done in the lunch stream here of taking that big, long, monolithic method here that's loading data and making it so that we can use a generic here to just load in one item, I'll be happy here. Because that just means now I can just keep loading data types with these really small methods. Just give me the location of the file, give me the scope and collection you want to put it in, let somebody else do the work because I don't want to do it. That is a thing of beauty when it comes to programming. So let me check the chats and see if there's anybody saying anything out in the chats. I've got to get the stream so it shows the chats from things other than Twitch. I've got to get like the little chat thing below my picture showing up. I know Matt does that, and a couple other streamers, and that probably is a good use of my time. I have not done that yet though. Let's see here. We want data loader. Okay, close. Why would it It's weird that it opened up like that. Let's just build and see what happens. It says the office loading is not called. That's true, it's not. And now that should get us that. Let's build one more time. Let's run it, see what happens. Okay, well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Data gen. We gotta start counting periods. So let's look at this. What's happening is, that's weird. What's in the models folder even back here? Oh, a build. All right, let's take a look at this. The program would run from data loader, bin, debug, net08. First set of periods would get us back one directory. Second set of periods would get us back to debug. Third would get us back here. Fourth would get us back above the data loader, which we need another set of periods because we need to go one more above the source so that we have the automation directory. We're off by a set of periods. Because I moved those folders. But my code, I did this on purpose. I did that to check if the files exist. That's what I'm going to tell myself. And look, we've loaded the data into the user profiles or updated it. And then we'll see what happens with offices. See if offices pumps. Offices is a lot smaller. I would have expected it to return by now. That flashing arrow usually means that the program's been loaded. So something didn't work with offices. Do we have a try catch in here? We're doing a console versus a debug. This is what type of build? Debug. Is it because I have debug right line instead of console? And we're not seeing it in the console then. Let's just do that. But we're gonna have to figure out why this is not working real quick. There we go. Okay. JSON value could not be converted to double in lat in long. Okay. Well, that's pretty easy to fix. We got a data type problem. Let's go take a look at that. So let's look at models. We have office, a geolocate, a double. It's a type conversion. Are we getting away with a float here? Let me see here. What was the error message again? Now I gotta look on the build. Let's try with a float should work. Oh wait, I know what's going on. More. Put them back to double. They're strings. They need to be numbers in the JSON file. Lat and long. Let's make sure that they're right there. Let's go back here. Lat and long. Lat and long. Oh. Lat long G. But the problem is that they have strings in them. They're not numbers. Let's make them some numbers so that we don't have to do typecasting here. So I think we have two problems. One, we're missing the proper field name. So let's make sure that's right. Lat and long. Okay. That's way better. Try some VS Code or in Writer. See if we can send the lunch stream home with having something actually work. Squeeze me. Offices, personnel. Shit. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, that's a bummer. We loaded the data into the wrong buckets. And a scope. Personnel. Well, and a collection. I just did collections. Offices. And add a collection. User profiles. And now those are both empty. Cancel. Oh, that's not good. I dropped it and the documents are still there. I think that's another bug in the UI. I'm going to assume that's a bug in the UI. I'm sorry. Let's go buckets. Get back into our buckets. Scopes and collections. Personnel. Tells me that I don't count 0. Go to documents. Switch back and forth. No documents and personnel. All right. I think we're all right. Go to writer. Run our data loader. Data is loaded that quick. And let's go back one screen. And we should see 0 items in office and 20 items still here. Well, that's wrong because it's offices, but it says it's user profiles, but that's right. In user profiles, we should have like 17 in here. Should be our offices. Let's take a look at that. Oh, it loaded all 3. It didn't load these as individual offices. Okay, so that's a problem. in our code. Let's go see here in user profiles. Are these also multiple user profiles? They are. All right. So we're having an issue here with when I refactored the code out. That's not working. We're not getting individual records. So let's think about this for a second. All right. We've taken a file. We deserialize it as a list of items. The T would be passed in of the type that we're going to call. So user profile, for example, right? So we're going to say user profile. So that'll be a user profile. So we're going to say, hey, look, give me a type of those. Do a breakpoint real quick here. Shoot. Let's debug it. So this data have in it. That's right. So let's think about this for a second. So then let's go through and see what happens. So we come in. We have an item. Data. This is where it is. This is the problem. We're sending it data instead of item. More and move. And more and move. Because we would say item here, we get the document ID out, document ID is here, but if we send data, we're just sending the full collection. Rookie mistake. Refactoring. This is what regression is all about. It's about when you make some big changes, changing out the exact way you load data, and then, you know, thinking through the process, refactoring, renaming variables, make sure it still works. There we go. Now this office only has got a single office in it. The latitude and longitude is proper. In this location field, that looks great. Let's go back to user profiles. That UI is really buggy. That sucks. Now we're getting just offices and a single user. There we go, folks. In an hour, we were able to refactor some code. We were able to then get now to the point where I don't have to write so much code. Now, of course, I'm going to have to refactor this most because right now, the load data doesn't know about extended attributes. And our other data is going to need extended attributes, right? So we'll probably have to pass a flag to the data loader and say, oh, do you have extended attributes? If you have extended attributes, then run this extra code. And by doing that, we can then still keep this super generic code that we have that's just loading data for us and doing it very efficiently. I mean, it runs in seconds, right? And but also give it that functionality. So we'll have to do a bool check down here. So I think that's going to be the next thing we do. And we'll get the we have a very long list of data we got to get loaded in here, and then we can start building the screens for all of this. If we look here, let's just take a look here, see what we future homework. If we go to assets, so we would need to start generating the UI, we would need, honestly, we have user profiles, we have offices, we could start generating the UI with that. We need the we should probably get the warehouses in too. That's a pretty easy thing to do in the projects. I mean, since we're already in a data loader code, we should probably do those next. But these will need extended attributes though. And the team right here will be, we need to make sure that we have security that says in the extended attributes that the only people that can get this document synced down is based on this team. So if you're on a team, a certain team, then that's what's going to be it. And this is by your office of your user profile. So if we look here, you should have an office set, right? And so what we do is we look at your office. and we convert that office into like a team basically. Now, if anything, we should not call them teams anymore. That's actually a bug in here because this should be team should be office. This is an older version of the data. Team : with office : There we go. Because then it's pretty easy because we look at the user profile. We say, oh, okay, let me look at your office. If you're in this office, you can see this document. If you can't see the document. And we just stick that, we hide it in the extended attributes then. And then you won't even be able to change it. So that's the goal is to not even include this field when we bring it in via C#, right, into the mobile app. We'll basically have this, we'll rip it out. So we'll have to DTO it because we don't want this to get into the actual database, because then a user could just go into the back end, right? And they could just go into here and say, well, I'm just going to go into the back end and I'm going to change the office ID of this project. And if they do that, then they're changed to the security, and we don't want people to be able to do that. That's what the whole point of extended attributes is about, right? So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. All right, folks, I think we're done here for the lunch stream. It's got an hour clocked in here. I do have to get going. I got some stuff going on, but I want to appreciate for all of you that attended today. We got the data loader working. I'm going to be checking the code in here pretty quickly here. And then from there, we will be, like I said, tomorrow, finish loading data and start working on some more UI stuff. So take care.